Good morning. Uh, who? So I'm not feeling like 100%, but uh, I know exactly how it happened too, which is funny. I wasn't even gonna start off talking about this. I wanted to talk racing right away, but uh, like I'm congested and my throat feels a little funky because of the congestion, and so yeah, it's kind of sucky. But if you can like handle it for 15 minutes or so, that's probably all I'll keep you today. But I am just pumped to be hanging out, I guess. So this morning we're gonna be talking. We're gonna be so no chicken suit first of all, and then secondly, last week was the first week of American rallying, and that was super awesome because the snow returned to Michigan for the snowdrift, which that didn't happen last year. There was no Travis Pastrana for this opening round, so that was interesting. And then the next stop's going to be here in Missouri, the 100 Acre Wood, which we will be there for. And what full capacity, I don't know yet. Definitely going to be going and watching. I don't know if we'll take camera stuff and like try to do some tin roofing while we're there. I don't know. Maybe we will. Like, put up a couple of, videos or whatever. Try to do some talking with somebody. I don't know what we'll do yet. But that's always such a good time. Or not always such a good time. I've only been once. It was a good time the one time I went, and I can't wait to go back. Man. So Daytona 500 is this weekend. I was trying to decide like what all I wanted to talk about. There's no been real any like news other than like Chris Stapleton and Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car looking really cool. Like it gives me old school vibes as far as like rap goes. It looks awesome. So that's really cool. And so, like, that partnership will be really interesting. I hope it goes a long way. I do know that their car made the field. So I guess qualifying's over. So we could look at results, which I reckon we will. But this would be a perfect time to plug the fact that we're going to be going live on March 8th for the big trucks and like the trophy trucks and like class 2 stuff for the Met 400, unless they moved them to Sunday again, because I know they got stuff going on Sunday and I haven't looked at the full schedule. But normally like Saturday, like here lately, like the past 4 years, 4 years, they've done the big trucks on Saturday. So I'm hoping they kind of keep it that way. And so, like, we'll have a really cool thing whenever we do it. But we're doing a live while watching the Met 400 that weekend on Saturday, March 8th. So, mark your calendars. We're going to be over on the YouTubes is where our live's going to be. So, if you aren't following us on YouTube yet, go over there, subscribe, do all that. You can watch all my cooking videos. You can watch my calisthenics podcast. You can watch this podcast. Yeah. So that'll be awesome. But I haven't even really heard much out of like the World of Outlaws world this year, which is crazy because like their first race should have been last week, and like normally that kind of stuff pops up on my feed, and it didn't pop. Oh, I wonder if I'm not following it anymore because of the stupid hack stuff that happened to me. Let's take a look. Okay, that's sprint cars. I want the late models. But no, I wasn't following the sprint cars anymore. So, is the late models. Yeah. Okay, so Volusia was this weekend. Last night, actually. Was one of the... So they should they're racing again tonight. Normally that's like a midweek one, so like Thursday, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think. But Devin Moran won, Jonathan Davenport second, and Ricky Thornton Jr. was third. Oh, that's a bummer. Ricky Thornton Jr. accidentally like lost traction and smoked Ethan Dotson. Well, that's kind of a bummer. But man, things there look pretty cool. I'm glad we're getting to talk some racing here. We're going to get into music here in a little bit, but it feels good to finally be talking some racing. If you've never been to a World of Outlaws race, I highly recommend going to a World of Outlaw race. The sprints or the late models, both are like super fun to watch. Personally, I don't know. I like the late models. I like the big cars. They're just like massive wedges just flying around, which is super awesome. But the sprint cars are cool too because they're itty bitty things that just super super fast. Yeah. This week's episode is going to be a bit more less structured, apparently, because not really a whole lot happened this week. Country, I actually, this is something I really wanted to bring up, was country really disappointed me this week as far as music goes. Like, what are y'all doing? And it's just kind of a bummer, because it's like, well, y'all just didn't really put anything out. But I mean, Dear Miss by Zach Bryan, if you haven't listened to it, is an absolutely amazing song, and that might have been one of the few new ones that came out this week, because I spent a lot of this week whenever I was listening to country stuff trying to keep up with stuff like new releases and whatnot, that basically that was one of the only new songs this week. Everything else was stuff that I had to get caught up on from the week before, the week before that. And so I was just thinking, man, this is kind of disappointing. Metal, like, it's just boom, 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 boom here at the beginning of the year. So I've been spending a lot of time listening to metal. And I'm blown away by Dream Theater. I've been sleeping on Dream Theater for so long. And kind of disappointed in myself for sleeping on Dream Theater for so long, because like they're super heavy. They remind me a lot of Iron Maiden in several ways, and they just like they have a cool sound, and I love how much instrumental side they have with what they do. It's unique. It's very unique as far as like bands that are like in that wheelhouse go, I guess. I mean, Iron Maiden can carry along, on instrumental stuff, but it's a different formula, is I guess what I'm getting at. Because Maiden will sing at some point within, 3 minutes or so, we'll say. Just throwing out an estimation, whereas it might take Dream Theater 11 minutes or a full song before they start singing. So, just different styles between the two different bands, but both are awesome and both are similar in certain ways. But speaking of Iron Maiden, let's get down to the crux of what I wanted to discuss today, or what I decided to discuss today. Because even this morning, I was like, man, I really don't know what all I'm going to talk about, because I really didn't have a whole lot. I didn't have, like, I'm not ready for the guitarist episode just yet. Okay. So here's your inductees, or nominees. Oh, stop. Why are you... I didn't want you to move. Okay, so 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees: Bad Company, Black Crowes, Mariah Carey, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Billy Idol, Joy Division, New Order, Cyndi Lauper, Manya, Oasis, Outkast, Fish, Soundgarden, The White Stripes. What? So we're going to snub one of the greatest. I guess this is opinionated to a point, but it's also fact for part of it. And you can choose which side is part of it, or you can be right there in line with me. It's perfectly fine either way. But we're going to snub one of the greatest metal bands ever, the greatest metal band ever, in my opinion, because I'm a huge Maiden fan. But we're gonna snub Iron Maiden for the "All I Want for Christmas Is You" lady. The people the one song that everybody makes memes about, like making fun of it. Like once we hit October 31st. It's 2.5 months of just memes of like how much we're dreading hearing that song a bazillion times. She's gonna potentially get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Iron Maiden. Are we serious here? You see what I'm saying? Like, White Stripes, not yet. Soundgarden, okay, I'd be fine with them. Bad Company, yeah, I think it's time for them. Black Crowes, even, I'm on the fence about it. Probably be time. And some of these others I'd be fine with, like Cyndi Lauper, maybe Joe Cocker, but like, how are you gonna have a band that has been around for as long as Maiden has, and have a catalog like Maiden has, a fan base that spans so many generations, and not put them in the Hall of Fame? Hall of Fame band, 100%, and you're just, nope, not going to put them in. What are we doing? Like, how can you guys call yourselves a Hall of Fame? And, I mean, facts after facts after facts with Maiden. And I think we might have even gone through it last year, but we're going to go through it again just because, like, same old junk with so many of these awards and Hall of Fames and everything else. It's not about the music, and it should be. Because that's it's the art that we're here for. It's kind of the whole. It ties right into with the podcast we had last week about how record labels suck. And speaking of which, I saw a video of Jelly Roll explaining how a deal with a record label works, and it's like, you have a deal with a record label. Shush. I mean, you have every right to talk about it and everything else, but you chose that path a long time ago, and that was back when you would mention Upchurch in an interview without going, he's just such a rap guy. Like, okay. But you talked about how you had a discussion with him and how you decided to go the route of a label versus being independent like he did, whereas at that time a lot of guys were moving away from record labels. One of my favorite bands that was from here in St. Louis at that time decided to get away from their record label. Their hope was that it would do better for them, but unfortunately there were some issues within the band that I just don't think could be resolved, which is unfortunate. And that they made great music, they were great live, but I don't know everything that went on with that scenario, and so it was just a bummer to see a band like that go away after trying to do the independent thing. But there's so many good examples of people that do independent stuff and have made it work. Maybe that's the next episode we do, because this little random rant here was to basically say Are you kidding me right now? Like, after, like, some of the other stuff you've done lately, like, we're gonna, like, start talking about that in an interview? It just... There's some aggravation there, obviously. But, like, just going back to Maiden. But here, 30 greatest songs. How many other bands have an article done on them? This was back in 2022. Done on them called Iron Maiden's 30 Greatest Songs. List of songs recorded by Iron Maiden on Wikipedia, the official Iron Maiden website. Let's see, studio album, singles, live album, band, network, merch, fan. Did I type Iron Maiden songs? I did. I meant to just do Iron Maiden. This thing's gonna fight me the whole way. Okay. So, I mean, a band that's been around since the 70s, and you're gonna tell me that they, like, everything that they've done, the fact that they're still together, the fact that they've had all the different things. So, just Number of the Beast alone, this is just a clip from Wikipedia. The Number of the Beast is among one of the most popular heavy metal albums of all time, having sold almost 20 million copies. Okay? They've been on a bazillion different labels. EMI, Parlophone, BMG, UME, Sanctuary, Legacy, Columbia, Portrait, CMC, Epic, Capitol, Harvest. Current members are Steve Harris, Dave Murray, Adrian Smith, Bruce Dickinson, Nico McBrain, and Yannick Gers. Or Yannick, more than likely is how you say that. I'm not super familiar with him, so my apologies. They've released 3 albums recently, within the past, 2010 being the latest one of Final Frontier, then Book of Souls in 2015, which Book of Souls was pretty good. And then Senjutsu in 2021. I didn't realize that it had already been that long since Senjutsu came out. All have reached number 1 in more than 25 countries. Iron Maiden have sold over 130 million copies of their albums worldwide and obtained over 600 certifications. The band is considered to be one of the most influential and revered heavy metal bands of all time. They have received multiple industry awards, including, I don't really care about the Grammys, but it's cool that they've won them, and Brit Awards. The band has released 41 albums, including 17 studio albums, 13 live albums. That's a lot of live albums. I didn't realize they had that many. 4 EPs and 7 compilations. They also have released 47 singles, 20 video albums, and 2 video games. What? They have video games, guys. I didn't even know that. Iron Maiden's lyrics cover such topics as history, literature, war, mythology, dark fantasy. We'll do a deep dive on these guys because they're amazing and they deserve it. For over 40 years, the band have featured their signature mascot, Eddie, on the covers of almost all of their releases, which, if you're a Maiden fan, you know who Eddie is because Eddie's awesome. That's just the overview, the blurb. It stands alone on its own. You don't need to know more. This is a Hall of Fame band that we're looking past. It's the Pistols all over again, and it's incredibly frustrating. Like, why, guys? Why? It's dumb. To look past that band shows me that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is broken. Which I had already kind of felt a certain way about it, and I'm aggravated, but I'm not irate aggravated. It's not something to be irate aggravated over, because Iron Maiden's still gonna be great at the end of the day, regardless. They don't need to be told that they're an amazing band. I don't need to be told that they're an amazing band, but I like talking. That's why I have this podcast. I like talking about how awesome they are. I like talking about how awesome bands are. It's a fun part about music, having like this kind of thing with it, where fans get together and do such and such album and such and such song. What do you think about this? Like, that's the cool part about it. We're gonna do that with Cody Jinks' new cover here in just a second, but like, it just seeing that we're gonna up our game on our awards ceremony at the end of the year whenever we do our not so special Christmas special. We're taking it up a notch because somebody's got to. And even though this is a little itty bitty podcast that doesn't really get a whole lot of attention, we're gonna keep on keeping on, because we're gonna keep it real here. We're gonna talk Maiden, we're gonna talk all the guys, and we're gonna have fun doing it. Some weeks are gonna be music news, some weeks are gonna be rants like this, some weeks are gonna be a deep dive on a person, some weeks are gonna be talking about mostly racing, which we spent probably a good chunk of this one talking about racing and stuff. So I'm excited that we got to talk racing this week, because we really didn't last week. One other song came out this week in the country music world that had me like pumped, and that was Cody Jinks' cover of It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll, because like they slowed it down a little bit, gave it that groovy like guitar sound, but kept it hard, and Cody sang it in his traditional way. And guys, it's a banger. I listened to it about 3 or 4 times. I really wish I could have gotten a reaction video of like my initial reaction of listening to it, because dude, that put a smile on my face. I was like, this is good. Plus it stirred up old school of rock memories and stuff from being a kid. So like, if you're not checking out that one, you need to. But well, I reckon we're going to start wrapping it up here, because we got lots of stuff to do today for myself, the day that I am recording this. And then, of course, it's Monday. We're out here getting it. Hopefully, like, I don't know if you're listening to this while you're on the clock. I don't know if you waited till the afternoon to listen to this in the gym. You might be listening to it a couple days later. But if you're listening to this Monday morning on your way to clock in, like, it's going to be a good week. We're going to get through it. Get to the next weekend on the other side, and we're going to have time to unwind. But listen to new music this week. Lacuna Coil's new album did come out on Valentine's Day, and I listened to it, and it was really, really good. Definitely a contender, along with, like we had talked last week, Ginger, her metal album of the year. Man. Yeah, so it's gonna be like, I keep saying it because it's true. 2025 is gonna be awesome. Period. And I'm glad you guys are along for the ride. May your week really be awesome. I really mean it. That's why I've said it twice. Guess I'm out of things to say for this week. I hope you guys have an awesome one. We'll catch you back here next Monday under this tin roof.